I love it. She's at the top. Welcome home.
Hello. Hi. Today we are ranking every ride and attraction in Universal Studios Orlando. This is just the Universal Studios Park, not Islands of Adventure. All right, so do you guys want to start off with our favorite singer witch?
He's dead! Oh, my cauldron.
I don't know if your sound cut out, if anyone else's sound cut out when she sang, but
It
mine
did.
did. It adds to it.
Yeah.
All right, so Celestina Warbeck, what are you guys thinking about her?
She's pretty good. It was a fun show to watch.
It was definitely entertaining, for sure.
Mhm.
However, I dock points for the Banshees costumes.
They
Okay.
are ugly.
You guys think that they're ugly? I think that they kind of look like dance recital costumes, but they look very fun to wear.
Just
They look
ugly.
flouncy.
I kind of like them.
the color is nice, so I'll give them the color.
I
But
think
for, like, people who are-
Celestina's outfits are fire.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Celestina, she's like a mermaid goddess witch queen. Banshees, they dress worse than me at my 12-year-old ballet recital. Like, I don't know what else to say. They're ugly.
They're for F tier.
I don't think it's F tier.
I don't
They
either.
are entertaining, and I like when they, have their little microphones and swing them around.
Yeah, and they're very talented. They're live singers.
Yeah.
For anyone who hasn't seen them before, they are live singers and they're very
yeah.
talented.
Yeah, they're
Props.
genuinely good singers.
Mhm.
Props for that as well. I could go anywhere above C.
I was thinking B.
Okay.
Yeah, I would probably put them in B. I mean, as far as talent goes, I would put it in S. But as a show, I mean, it's entertaining, but it's not the most entertaining thing
Right.
at the park.
Right,
So,
and we are comparing it to like rides too, which is
Yeah.
mostly what people go to Universal for.
yeah.
And for supposing for supposing I gotta think about this one. For supposed to be able to for
supposedly being.
for supposedly being magical, they certainly have less than magical fashion sense. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
All right, we're still on about this. Let's not forget that Dumbledore wore like high-heeled boots and like purple robe and a big pointy or no, he didn't even wear the pointy hat in the book. He wore like a floral bonnet.
Dumbledore looked great.
Okay.
Yeah, if we were ranking Dumbledore, that's not what we're doing today.
Okay. Well, do you guys want to go on to the next Wizarding World of Harry Potter attraction?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
This is Gringotts, Escape from Gringotts. Line? The line? S tier.
Yes. Honestly, I would go so far as to say this is the most well-themed ride line I've ever been in.
It's
Yes.
pretty fantastic.
Now, I'm strictly speaking on the line, though.
Right.
The ride itself,
Do you guys think that this line is better than the Forbidden Journey line?
I do. Just solely because of that, the photo that you're looking at right now.
Yeah, that bank is amazing.
Mm-hmm. It is really
Absolutely
beautiful.
stunning, gorgeous. I do think the Forbidden Journey line is also very good.
Mm-hmm.
But the animatronics, there's not too many animatronics in the Forbidden Journey line.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So as far as ride goes, how do you feel about this one?
I love it.
It's not the best Harry Potter ride.
Yeah,
but it does have Bill Weasley, and he's pretty handsome.
That's true. S tier.
And as someone who hardly likes men, that's a lot.
I do like Bill Weasley, but I don't think he's enough to save the fact that we have to wear 3D glasses
Right.
and that there is not a whole lot of roller coaster action
Right.
and it's very short.
I do like when you go into the dragon smoke and it looks like you're just going through the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen other rides do this better, that effect better. So I don't know.
yeah. When I first went on this ride, I was really impressed. I really liked it. But the last time that we went, I think that the combination of the 3D glasses, the motion, and the fact that I probably wasn't hydrated enough, it made me so nauseous to go on this ride. So I think that it would probably be towards the top. Like I think that it also belongs above C, but I would not put it in S tier.
I would put it probably in C tier, but
Okay, I guess the question is, do we think that watching Celestina Warbeck is more entertaining than riding the ride?
okay, no. Now I kind of want to move Celestina Warbeck down.
Well, we can think about them like in terms of a show. Like, we don't have to think about it like, would you rather do this or that? We can think about like, as far as a show goes, how good is this? And as far as a ride goes, how good is this? You know?
Okay. I mean, I would maybe put them both in B.
I would probably put them both in B too.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's not great, but, I wouldn't pick, I wouldn't necessarily pick any show over riding any ride.
Yeah.
For one.
We'll get there. All right, Despicable Me Minion Mayhem. That's what it's called, right?
Yes.
This ride make me feel sick.
This ride beats me up when I'm on it.
It does.
It hurts my body when I'm on this ride. And, you can go.
I have hardly any recollection of this ride other than the fact that Kevin is waiting for you when you're exiting, and we all met him together, and I was under the assumption that this was a statue, so we walked up to him, and he was not a statue. He was alive.
He just wasn't moving.
And that was fun.
I just think it's crazy how skinny his arms are and that they still work.
Okay, as far as the ride goes, again, I think the line is actually pretty cute. Like when you're in Gru's like living room, and then you go down to the lair or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's well decorated. The ride itself, garbage. It is a motion simulator ride, but it's an auditorium style simulator, which I think is the worst kind.
Yeah.
The movement is just so jerky. Again, you wear 3D glasses. It's just, it doesn't.
You don't wear 3D glasses on this ride.
You don't?
It even less realistic.
Yeah, I want to put this in F tier.
I would be okay with putting it in F tier.
I would also be okay with putting it in F tier.
Okay, so it's done.
And I already see what's up next, and I am so excited. We all know where I would put this attraction.
E.T. Adventure is not a bad attraction.
It is
By no stretch of the imagination is it a bad attraction.
Some
Is
might
it worthy
even
of S
say
tier?
it is. Some might even say that it is the best attraction at Universal Studios, and by somebody would say it's me. I would say so.
I think I would put this ride in S tier just because like looking at everything that's on here, it's better than most of these things.
It is, but I want to put it in A tier because I got stuck on it once, and and I was stuck in the room with all the baby ETs, and they were singing their little song in their little stupid voices, and they were like
That sounds just like them. This is amazing. We're on the ride. I'm there.
Okay, yeah. So, but imagine being there for an hour.
Oh my
Um,
God. You
well,
were stuck on it for an hour.
It felt like an hour, and then it's not a bad ride. I just can't get past that part.
Okay.
But
Well,
that's
I
not
think-
a normal ride experience.
Yeah, we can't let your personal bias blind us from the fact that this is the best attraction. Let's put it this way. It is one of, if not the only original attraction that is still remains.
That's
for
true.
that.
And also Universal just doesn't have a ton of dark rides.
Yeah.
And
But
like
they're not known for that.
they're not known for that, but when you like oversaturate your park with screens being played off as rides,
Yeah.
you appreciate a really well-made dark ride. And I think that ET does that for Universal, and for that reason I think it belongs in S tier, because it's not like everything else that they have at their park.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've sold me. We can put it in S tier. I do want to correct you when you said a really well-made dark ride. I don't think we need to go that far. But it is one of the best rides, and it is something different, and it is an original, and so I have to give props to
All right.
All right.
I'm glad we finally agree.
that. All right, next up, I've got some opinions. Oh, I always have opinions. The Tonight Show starring Kimmy Kimmel.
Kimmy Kimmel.
The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, aka Jimmy Kimmel. Don't know the difference between them. This ride also makes me feel sick. I'm sorry, I don't like auditorium style motion simulators, and this one does have glasses,
Yeah.
and it's garbage, and I think that we could actually all get rid of this. I think trash tier is worse than the Minion one, because at least the Minion one is based on a movie, a beloved movie that children enjoy. Children don't care about Jimmy Fallon. I don't care about Jimmy Fallon. Why does he have a ride, and why is it so bad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's just weird that it's a ride. Like, I could maybe understand, like, okay, have y'all ever, like, y'all both been on this ride?
Yes, I have
Do you know
been on it
how
once.
before you get on the ride, like, you go and you can see like the little mini show where the guys are like singing and stuff?
Yeah, it's like the little pre-show situation.
Yeah, like I could understand if they like just did the shows. Like, I don't even really want that, but like that's more understandable than a ride. Like, I just don't see how a talk show translates into a ride. Like, I just don't get it.
Yeah, and it's also stupid.
Yeah, it is stupid. Like, what actually happens on the ride is stupid. And again, like you said, it's the auditorium style simulator ride, so it's just very jerky, and like you don't feel like transported because you're just watching 100 other people get like thrown around in their giant bench seats.
Yeah.
So like that's not a fun
actually-
experience.
I think that the Jimmy Fallon ride hurts me more than the Minion ride. This one hurts me the most, probably, of anything in this particular park. Anything that is listed. Emotionally, physically, spiritually, I am
Yeah.
destroyed. Trash
Mhm.
tier.
Trash tier.
All right, so next we've got Shrek 4D. Which, do the seats in this ride move? I feel like they move a little bit.
They do move, but it's just
Okay.
like this.
It's like I can hear the motor running under my seat. This is one of the older ones, for
Yeah,
sure.
I really love Shrek. And I like that Shrek has an attraction. I wish it was a better attraction.
Yeah.
I don't think it's trash.
I agree.
But I also don't think it's particularly fun. So,
I'm thinking F tier.
I remember thinking it was fun when I was a kid. I
Hmm.
do remember enjoying the story of it because it was an original story. And I mean, yeah, a lot of these rides have original stories, but I don't know. I really liked Shrek as a kid, so I found this one quite charming. Again, another auditorium style simulator, although it's not really a full simulator. It's kind of more of a 3D movie than it is a 4D movie than it is a simulator. So for that, I want to put it above F because this was the first 4D thing that they had in the park.
Mhm.
It wasn't a simulator, but it was the first kind of 4D thing.
yeah, I think that it's far more entertaining than Minion Mayhem. Do you guys, okay, so I don't know if this is a thing that I made up or if this is true, but was the movie that they play in this originally like a made for TV Halloween special, or did I make that up?
That's what we were talking about when we were there, and I'm pretty sure it was because this is the first time I had ever watched like the Shrek 4D thing at Universal, and the story seemed very familiar to me.
Huh, I never thought about that. I have no idea.
I don't know if like they
That would
took
discredit
this-
a lot of my positive thoughts about it. If they just took a made for TV special and then slapped some chairs on it and called it a ride.
I will look it up, and we can go ahead and place it and like keep talking about the next ones, and I'll look it up and let us know.
All right.
Okay. So
I
we're
would put
again-
it in D personally because I've got a couple more on this list that I want to go in F and trash.
Do you agree, Skylar?
I would put it in D. I think that
Okay.
it is pretty good there.
Okay.
All right.
Simpsons ride.
All right. So how do you guys feel about the Simpsons ride?
It makes me sick.
It's
Yeah.
garbage.
Yeah, I don't like it, and I also don't like it even more considering that this was a Back to the Future attraction that they replaced with The Simpsons. I love Back to the Future, and when I found out that this used to be Back to the Future, it is horrible. Also, the ride is just horrible on its own, but it's even more horrible considering what it used to be.
I hate this ride.
Yeah. The story, it's not incoherent. I understand the story, but it's stupid. I think that I will give it points for having a cool like queue area. You know, when you're like lining up to go into those individual rooms, and there are like the carnival screens on the side, and it's really kind of cool themed in there.
I guess if you like The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we also, I must preface by saying that I have never seen The Simpsons in my life, so I don't have an emotional connection to these characters to begin with. But I don't know.
But the ride itself is just it also make me sick. I'm gonna say this a lot. These motion simulator rides are brutal. They're like I think kids can handle it. I'm not like an elder, but but like I should be able to handle motion simulator rides and I can't handle this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's especially bad when you have so many of them. Like I could maybe handle one, but when I get off of one and then immediately go on to another one, it is rough.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's not but 2 motion simulator rides in all of Disney World, all 4 parks.
I think there's 3.
What's the third one? I've got Flight of Passage, Soarin'.
Star Tours.
You're right, Star Tours. And I guess technically, what's the one where you, Millennium Falcon? Does that count?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Millennium Falcon.
That one doesn't, yeah. But they're, yeah, and they're spread out between the parks.
Mhm.
So they're in 3 different parks, those rides. And these are all in one park. We have just come across 4 motion simulator rides, and there's more to come. It's just hard to do them one after the other.
Yeah. And when I think about the motion simulator rides that are at Disney World, I don't think that they could have done those a different way with making them with practical sets.
Mhm.
But with like some of these rides at Universal that are simulators, I think that they could be improved by having practical sets instead of simulators. And I think it's quite clearly just Universal's way of like making a cheap ride.
Yeah,
And
like the Despicable Me ride would have been really cute and really fun if it wasn't a simulator.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking like if it was, not that I like Cat in the Hat ride, but if it was like Cat in the Hat, but it was Despicable Me, I think that could be cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you
Anyway, trash tier. I say trash tier.
I think
here as well.
okay. I think that it's better than Jimmy Fallon. But
I
if you
just
guys
don't want it to
agree with
exist
trash,
anymore.
then okay, I agree. I don't like Simpsons Land,
Yeah.
so we can put
And
it in
it's
trash.
also they just use the exact same like ride system as Back to the Future. So it's
Yeah.
like they're updating it, but they're still keeping this very old simulation ride system, and it doesn't work anymore.
And they don't try to hide the building at all. In
No.
fact, they paint it very bright colors so it stands out. And you know what's in that building? Not a ride, but a giant screen, a giant
Yeah.
projection screen. And I like most of the other ones are like painted to look like buildings or set pieces or things like that. Like they blend in. This one is like a bright rainbow colored warehouse.
Yeah.
And
I don't
also,
like that land
if you're in the
altogether.
simulator, if you're in one of the like cars that's lower than other cars, you can see like the rusty, crusty bottoms of other people's ride vehicles that they're in. And I'm like, miss me with that. Like, I just don't like anything about it. I like the twirl and hurl more than the Simpsons ride.
Yeah,
I could probably agree with that one.
I could agree with that for
And
sure.
I don't like the twirl and whirl.
I
The
don't
twirl and
either.
hurl might also make it in trash tier, but it is
It's
slightly
better.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a
Yeah.
minute.
All
Okay,
right.
so next up we have the Transformers ride.
All right. So as far as all the simulators go, I think that this is not the worst.
Look, at least this one actually moves. Like
Yeah.
this one reminds me of Spider-Man in
Mhm.
that it is a ride and you do go places.
Yeah, it's probably the exact same ride as Spider-Man except with different screens and the physical set
Wait,
pieces are a little
because
different.
the vehicles are the exact same.
Yeah, and
Right.
I know that that's not something that Universal would not do because Fast and Furious and Kong are the same exact ride.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does have some physical set pieces in between the screens, so it's not like all screens.
And also that giant Megatron, I think it's Megatron that's like crashed through the ceiling at the end of it.
Oh yeah.
I love him and his glowing eyes.
Yeah.
That just might be my love for Megatron.
Oh, I love Megatron. So I think that this ride is actually worthy. It's again not the best ride, but it's worthy of a higher ranking.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think I would put it.
I would put it in C tier.
Yeah,
would
I was
also
gonna
put
say
it in C
C. I wasn't sure if y'all were thinking it was better than Green Guts, and I was like, I don't think it's better
No,
than Green
it's not
Guts.
better than Green Gods.
It's not
Okay.
better than Green Gots.
Okay, so C tier.
All right. Next we've got Fear Factor Live. And I've never seen this before, so I can't really have an opinion on it.
I have
so what do
seen
you guys
it.
think?
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they have some people that are like guests in the park, and they compete and do all these, fear factor things, like hang from the ceiling, and there's like fire and kids squirting them with water. And they're dangling from these cars, but then like they also do these little intermission things where they have people like eat bugs and stuff, and I'm not really into that, but I don't mind watching people dangle from the ceiling.
Yeah, I think as a concept, it's really cute. I love that it's audience participation and like you can be in the show. I think that's something that Universal has kind of always had that you don't see a lot elsewhere. They used to have, Family Feud, the show, where you could go beyond that. They used to have like a Deal or No Deal where you could go beyond that. And then, like, while you were in the park, you could win things. And I do enjoy that aspect. I wish that they had kept some of those shows. And like, honestly, I'd rather sit down and watch someone play Deal or No Deal than I would sit in the Jimmy Fallon simulator. Like, so I do like that. Fear Factor I don't think it's on anymore. Like, I don't think they're making new episodes of that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't think they are.
I think it is a little outdated as a concept,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that I don't know, I think the idea there is good. I don't dislike it. I like seeing shows personally. Shows are one of my favorite parts of going to a theme park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that it's a cool concept. I also agree that it is probably a bit outdated, and they're not doing it right now. And I don't know if they were doing it when I went to the park and it was not closed because of COVID, because I feel like I haven't seen it like advertised very much.
No,
They were doing it because me and my
they just
family
do like
saw it.
they just do like 2 shows a day, you know?
Oh, okay.
So it's
I
just
will
not that often.
say, if we had stayed, in Florida longer, and obviously this COVID business was not happening, I think if I would have gone to the parks enough, I eventually would have signed up to compete in it. I think that would have been
I would
fun.
do it. I would do it.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that would be kind of fun.
As far as where I would put this this show, I I don't know. I like big shows. I don't know. Maybe C or D. I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking C or D. Um, Maybe leaning more towards D though, just because like it's a cool concept, and I think it really fits in with like what Universal tries to do about like making you a part of like their productions. Like I think that's kind of like Universal's whole thing.
You're
And
praising it, and yet you're saying it should be lower.
right, my butt is
Oh.
it is outdated, and like it's not anything like super groundbreaking or like, I could see it once. I probably wouldn't go to see it more than once though.
All right, sure.
Do you think D, Skylar?
I've never seen it, so I would agree with D.
Okay.
Okay, this is Fievel's Playground or something like that, which is based on the American Tail movie.
Mm-hmm. I think that it's fun that they have American Tail represented in the park.
Yeah, we need more American Tail representation.
Yeah. I'm an adult, so this is not I don't even know if adults are allowed to go into this playground. But looking at it from the outside, it's really cute. It kind of reminds me of the old Honey, I Shrunk the Kids play area that used to be at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it has a lot of like big oversized things, and like water slides and stuff. So that's fun. there's also another water area that's going to be on this list. And I don't understand why Universal thought it was necessary to have two in the same area.
So you can just stay wet and go from one to the other.
I guess.
I think it's better to put them in the same area than across the park from each other.
Yeah, why do you need two in one park anyways?
Yeah. Why not just make one big one?
They
don't
couldn't
know.
decide between
One of
themes.
them is American Tail themed, and the other is Curious George themed.
But
Yeah, I mean, like, I've never even walked through it. So, like, I can't even...
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't either.
I mean, but I feel like, okay, I'm thinking I'm now a mom. I have small children. Small children are going to want to play on this playground, and I am a mom and know that small children need a place to expend their energy, so I let them go. And I think it's good that they have it. But again, I don't know where to place it, because it's like they have two. So two of them
Yeah.
seem unnecessary, and I don't know which one. Well,
Let's
I
just
don't know
put them
which
on
one
the
would be
same
better.
ranking. Let's just lump them together at this point.
okay.
I mean, we're not really the demographic.
We're
I
not the
don't-
demographic. And you know what? This is about us. This is about our opinions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since it's about our opinions, we're not the demographic. I don't think that it should go away. So I wouldn't put it in the trash.
No.
But considering that I would never do it, I would put it in F.
If it was open, and they allowed me, I would do it. So I would put it in D.
Okay, we can put Fievel in D, and we can put Curious George in F.
Okay. So D, I'm just gonna go ahead and move this. F, Curious
Yeah.
George.
All right.
Okay. Oh man. Whew.
Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, we're
Everyone's
getting into
getting
it now. I see that average silhouette. The Born
just an average
Stuntacular.
All right. So we talked about this in great length in our most recent episode, episode 4 of the Fast, Fast, and Furious podcast. But where do you guys think it should be ranked?
A tier?
Yeah.
I would put it in A tier.
A tier. I would put it in A tier.
Were you gonna say S tier, Sarah?
No, I wasn't. I was gonna say A tier, and then I was worried that you guys would be like, no, it's S tier.
Oh.
I don't know if we just think that, or we're just have in our mind that it's better than it actually is because we thought that it was stupid and funny. But I think that it's a fun experience, and I think that it could go for an A. I think that's goofy considering that we put Gringotts in B, and I don't.
I think Born Stuntacular is better than Gringotts.
All right, well, then
I
we can
agree.
put it in A.
Period.
And
yeah.
also when like Born Stuntacular is very unique in comparison to their other shows available.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it's a show and it can be debated if a show is more entertaining than a ride, but I mean I liked it better than Gringotts, so.
Agreed.
And Celestina. Sorry, Celestina.
Sorry, Celestina.
Yeah, I don't know if I liked it better than Gringotts, but it is fun. And we saw it twice, so
Yeah.
all right.
Marilyn and the Diamond Bellas show. They're kind of a show. They kind of just pop up
Yeah,
sometimes.
okay. They're not live singers.
No, they're not live singers.
Okay, so I think that they should definitely be below Celestina.
I agree.
But it's still a fun show. I still was very entertained watching it, other than the fact that there's this weird man that's with them.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually docking points for the weird man, the weird German accent man.
I would find it so much more entertaining and fun if it was just Marilyn and the Diamond Bellas.
And I also wish they sang.
Yeah.
Um,
watched this show, but I could not hear this show. So just looking at it, it looked very, fun and funky and fresh. But I actually didn't know that they weren't live singers. I assumed they were since I couldn't hear them. I didn't know. But yeah, that's not as impressive as Celestina.
No,
For
it kind
sure.
of goes kind of low for me.
Are we sure they're not live singers?
I'm sure they're not a live singer. They were
Okay.
literally playing just Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend.
Okay, because I did not remember, and I was like, I don't know, I don't know, but yeah, it's not a very long show. It's just 2 songs and the weird German man. And since they're not live singers, I think that I would put them below C.
I agree. I was going to say F. I mean, sorry, D. I was going to say D.
Okay, yeah, I'm cool with D.
I'm okay with D. I do
Right.
think they're very cute.
I
They
do
are,
too, and they
they're
do
fun.
like a quick, not a quick costume change. They just take off a jacket, but it's so fun.
It was pretty cute to see them just go, wow.
Yeah.
But next up, we do have the most superior of shows at Universal Studios. Also live singers. We have Barney. What's the name of it?
Day in the Park.
in the
with
Park
Barney.
with
Day in the
Barney.
Park. Yeah, with Barney.
You want to know why I think that show is great? It's long.
It is long.
These people don't go out and do 2 numbers. Like Celestina, they did like 3 numbers. But Diamond Bellas didn't even sing, did 2 numbers. No, Barney does a full, 6-number show?
and dances and everything.
Dances.
Tells a story.
We have special guests. We have lighting changes. We
Yeah.
have tiny toilets.
Stuff comes down from the ceiling.
Yeah.
I
And
think that
we're invited to sing along and dance along.
and we did.
Nowhere in Celestina Warbeck did she invite me up on stage to sing with the Bellas. Although actually I do think that is a thing that they do sometimes. So I think that they're just not doing it right now. Because I saw pictures on the internet of them like
Yeah,
it's always
I think they normally will bring like a man up on.
I was gonna say it's always
They'll,
like
put his they're like feather boas around.
That's gross. But I think Barney is fun. I think I was feeling very nostalgic watching it. And it was so high energy, even though we were one of like 5 people in that auditorium.
Mhm.
we
So,
were bringing in all the energy and Barney, of course.
Yeah.
And then and then
I
it also
really-
what? Wait,
Go ahead.
you can go ahead.
I really liked BJ. What's his name?
BJ?
I think it's BJ.
I kind of thought it was TJ.
Well,
Well, I really liked BJ, the
BJ.
yellow dinosaur. He was very chill. He was-
Are you
he was, like,
attracted
nodding
to
us,
BJ?
nothing pointing to us the whole time.
And Baby Bop was so tiny.
Yes.
Bop was so small.
And also at the end of it, you get to take a picture with Barney. So it also doubles as kind of like a little character meet and greet too. So that's kind of fun.
So I think that what's also fun about Barney is that on a normal non-COVID day, it does exit into a play area. And there's also a pre-show, which we didn't get to see because of COVID. But those are also fun things that happen with Barney.
Okay. I agree. Very, very fun show all around. Do we want to put it in B or C?
I was thinking A.
Or A.
Me personally, I was thinking A. Not as good as E.T., but I do think it's better than Gringotts.
I think B. I think it's on par with Gringotts.
You guys are such party poopers.
I
This is
don't,
why
it's
Barney
not
loves
on
me
the
the
same
best.
level as the Born Stuntacular.
Okay,
And
well,
it's not
I'm
better
telling-
than Green Guys.
I'm telling Barney what you said.
He's gonna be like, "What's the Born Spectacular?"
He's gonna say, "I love you, you love me, and we both
The
don't
bigger
talk
the
to Amanda
family,
and
the
Sarah."
happier.
We gave him B tier. That's like more than enough.
Yeah, nobody
Okay.
else would have given him B tier. Let's be real.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Next, we've got the Blues Brothers, which I've never seen them perform.
I've
I
never
have
stopped
never-
to see them perform,
never
but I
seen
have seen them in
Oh my
passing, and I've also seen them
gosh.
come by in their car.
We literally forgot one, and it is arguably the most important show.
What?
Beat Builders.
Oh.
Beat Builders.
Okay, we can just give Beat Builders an honorary letter.
Let's just pretend that the Blues Brothers are the Beat Builders.
Okay. 'cause
Well, we
I've
can
never
place
seen
the
them,
Blues
so
Brothers.
Okay, you place the Blues Brothers.
I've never seen them, so.
They're cool when they come through in their car. And I imagine it's a good performance. I don't know if it's a live performance though, or if it's a recording.
It's a live performance.
Okay, with that
Um,
in mind, I'm going to put it in C because it's, it's live. Marilyn isn't, but I don't think it can be as good as Celestina. So just C.
I do
Beat
think that
Builders.
Beat Builders, on the other hand,
S tier.
honestly, the Beat Builders are very entertaining.
They are so entertaining.
I could put the Beat Builders in A tier, genuinely.
I think I'd put them in A tier because I would prefer to watch them over Celestina.
I've
think
never seen the Beat Builders, but it
Well, they're
sounds
basically
fun.
just like drummers, and they're on scaffolding, but they're good. Like
Yeah.
they do good beat.
And they
beats.
do dances and stuff, and they do like little comedy things.
Oh, okay. So it sounds fun.
Yeah.
So just imagine Amanda's gonna find a little graphic, and she's gonna have it float in, and she's gonna land it right in A tier,
Uh-huh.
and it's gonna live there for the rest of the time.
Might can figure out how to do that.
She's very good with the computer.
Yes. So Beat Builders, A tier. But next up, we have arguably the best ride in the park.
Oh boy!
I
I couldn't even find a good photo of the inside of this ride.
because it doesn't look good on the inside of this ride.
I just was finding like bad CGI Vin Diesel faces. Genuinely, I was going to put that in there, but I didn't think that you would know what it was. Yeah, this is Fast and Furious Supercharged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This ride, okay, if we're going to be objective, this ride is absolute garbage. However, it's so bad that it's kind of funny. So I don't want to put it in trash, but it is incredibly horrible.
I was going to say this is the worst ride in Universal Studios, but then I was looking at trash and I was thinking, but those rides make me feel sick. And at least Fast and Furious doesn't make me feel sick because it doesn't move.
Right.
So it's got that going for it.
While Fast and Furious is objectively horrific, I do think it's more entertaining than the things that we have in the trash tier, and also it doesn't make me feel sick.
Yeah.
So,
For that reason, F
F tier.
for Fast and Furious.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
that's perfect.
The queue though, very good queue.
Yeah,
That
the
is
queue's
where they
fine.
spent all of their money.
Obviously. Well, they probably spent all their money like
On
getting the voices.
celebrities, yeah.
And you say voices because the actors are hardly in it. It's just horrible CGI'd computer graphics.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
that there's actually a human person anywhere in this ride. I think it's all computer graphic.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So we need to swiftly move on from Fast and Furious.
Yeah, we could talk forever on this.
Yeah.
and if you do want to hear us talk forever, we did in our most recent episode 4 of the Fast and Furious podcast.
Yes.
Anyways, next we have the Twirl and Hurl.
This ride is also bad. Okay, the ride itself is not bad. It's just we've seen so many rides like this before, and we mentioned this in our last ride ranking where we ranked the rides of Magic Kingdom. This ride has been there, done that. It spins, it goes up and down. You get to decide whether it goes up and down. Nothing new there, and it's Simpson themed, and it's in Simpson Land, so I don't really like it.
Well, I think one fun thing about this is that they do have like the things on the sides, and you have like an objective to like go and put your little UFO level with these things, and then they spin.
Mm-hmm. And Universal makes their simple spinny rides a little bit more interactive than Disney does, because you do have an objective when you get on the rides.
That's true. And so their other ride like this is the One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish ride. And that one I think is done better than this one.
I agree.
That one, it gives you an objective. It tells you when to go up and down, and then it tricks you. It tells you to go up, and then if you go up, you get wet. But it told you to go up if you wanted to get dry. Anyway, we're not talking about that. This one I don't think is as good.
No. I do think this ride is kind of funny, though. Like, the signs and everything that they have on it. I just, like...
It is. It's
but
like,
it is Simpsons, so, like, I know, like, the whole land is trying to be funny. I think this ride actually does, like, a pretty good job at it, though.
Yeah, they have a little sign that's like exit to inferior rides.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And they have to know that this is not the superior ride.
Right.
I guess, yeah.
But it's also not the most inferior ride at Universal.
No.
True. We said it before. It's not as bad as the Simpsons ride.
No.
But is it as good? Like, is it good enough for us to put it in the tier with like Shrek? I don't know.
Oh no, I would put it in F.
Oh, okay.
I would also put it in F. I think
I will concede to F tier.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
List ain't looking too good.
Sorry, Universal.
I do want to say, like, if you're watching this and it seems like we just really hate Universal, we don't.
We do.
No, we love Universal.
I
do
love
think
Universal.
I enjoy the rides in Islands of Adventure better than the rides here.
I agree.
I also enjoy the theming of that park more. But I love all of Universal. It's just we're being very critical.
We are.
we want them to improve.
But we are theme park planners. We're actually hired to do this, so it's in our job description to be critical of this.
Yeah. In fact, Universal hired us to
be critical.
Yeah, they wanted to know what we thought. Okay, they didn't, and our reviews do not reflect that.
Right.
Universal or any of its affiliates, whatever.
Or any theme park. I lied about all of that. We don't do that.
So do you guys want to go on to the next one?
Yes, the Hollywood Horror Makeup Show.
All right.
It's a show.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys seen it?
No.
I saw it a long time ago, but I hadn't seen it since, so I might not be very helpful in ranking it. But when I saw it, I was probably like 14, and I was really into like SFX makeup and horror, so I remember enjoying it, but I don't know if it holds up past like entertaining a 14-year-old.
So I saw it recently, and I kind of expected more from it. They don't actually really tell you how to do SFX horror makeup or anything like that. They like say they're like, and in Frankenstein we had to use prosthetics, and then you watch clips of Frankenstein, and then you've got these two corny hosts who are just like bumbling around. It's not as entertaining as I wanted it to be. I wanted it to actually be less scripted and more informative.
Mm-hmm.
It was very scripted, and yeah, you could tell that these people were like playing character tropes. They weren't just like, let me tell you how to do this SFX stuff.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I didn't love it.
I've never seen it, but I, probably could have seen it, but I chose not to see it. So if that's any indication of just my outward impression of it, do you think it's on par with Fear Factor, or do you think it's lower than Fear Factor?
I think it's on par with Fear Factor and the Diamond Bellas.
Okay.
All right.
Are we good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I mean, I don't really remember it, so I would probably be okay with it going anywhere.
Next, we have Animal Actors Live on Location. It's a trained animal show. I have seen this one recently.
I've never seen this.
I have also never seen this.
So the
again,
first
Sarah.
time I saw a show like this was in Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. They have a show called Pet Shenanigans, and I thought that show was like the bee's knees. Like, those pets were doing all kinds of cool stuff. They were so well trained. This one, they were not as well trained. Also,
There was no shenanigans.
it wasn't too much shenanigans. It was entertaining because I do really enjoy watching animals do tricks. However, ethically, as I've grown up, I am less for animals being used as entertainment. So, it was entertaining. I do like it, but like, I don't know. I have mixed feelings. It wasn't the best animal trained show, and then now I'm like starting to think like, I don't know how much I really want to support these animal shows unless these are like rehab animals, which they never specified that they were. But I do know that in the Busch Gardens one, they do specify that those are rehab and shelter animals. Like, so I don't know.
All right, so
Those are so now that you know that, what do you think?
So would you say, would you prefer if it wasn't there?
So here's the thing. What used to be there up until very recently was a stunt show. And it was like, hold on, I'm gonna look up the name of it right now. It was like a stunt show that took place on a ship, and it was like pirate themed and stuff like that. And it had
That
Well,
this,
that
so
sounds
fun.
so much cooler.
it had a huge set, and there was and so like the stage and auditorium is massive, so massive that you can barely see these animals. They're small little dogs and cats and birds and stuff. Like, you can barely see these animals like doing anything. But they had this like huge stunt show there that was awesome, and I feel like that would have been way better. It was like Indiana Jones, and now they have the Bourne Stuntacular, but I do think an outdoor stunt show would be very cool. It it opens up some of the things that you can't do indoors.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what it was called.
I mean, just based on your description and it be used to being something cooler, I mean, I feel like I would put it in trash, but I've never seen it. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't put it in trash. I think I'd put it, I don't know, I like animals. I mean, it was entertaining. I struggle. I wouldn't put it in trash.
So would you put it in F, or do you think that it's on par with the Diamond Bellas and the horror show?
We can put it in F. I just feel like if they wanted to make like an animal show, there really weren't enough animals or well-trained enough animals.
Mm-hmm.
okay, F tier it is.
I'm looking up really quick what the name of that show was. Wait, just kidding. Here it is. Eighth Voyage of Sinbad stunt show.
Oh my god, my parents' name is Sinbad.
Just kidding. It's at Hollywood. No. It's at Universal Orlando. Yeah, the Eighth Voyage of Sinbad stunt show. That was what it was called, and it looked so cool.
Or was it in that theater, or was it in the one? What was it used to be in the one over in the Lost Continent?
Oh,
Yeah,
wait a second. That would make sense.
that's the one that's at Islands of Adventure, the Eighth Voyage of Sinbad.
Is it still there?
Yeah, the
No.
theater's still
Oh.
there. That's the one that I was telling y'all that they used as the U rest area, and we never went into it in Islands of Adventure. It's the theater for that. They haven't been doing shows in there, but right now they had it open for a rest area during all of this.
You're right. It is in. See, why'd they get rid of that? Now I'm angry. Okay, so I was wrong about it being an old stunt show. Maybe it was always animal actors live on location or whatever.
Yeah. But I mean, it just, even still, it still sounds kind of lame.
Like they don't. It's not like it's like when you're in Animal Kingdom, they already have animals there. So having a bird show kind of makes sense. There's no
Yeah.
other animals needed in Universal. Why do they have animals there?
Right.
And they were like, and this dog was in a Chewy commercial. And I'm like, I know that's a little purebred beagle that was in a Chewy commercial and it can sit and it can stay. Good for it.
Yeah.
So we're cool with F.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so Men in Black Alien Attack.
You guys don't like this ride. I love this
I
ride.
love this ride.
S tier.
I don't know if I would put it in S tier. I might put it in A tier. Because I do think that Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin at Magic Kingdom is better than this.
I disagree because in Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, you've got all these targets. They're neon. They're poking out at you. In this one, you don't. You have to find the aliens yourself. And they're like in cute little hiding places. And they're all animatronic. There's no
Yeah.
animatronics in Space Ranger Spin. This
Yeah,
one
there
is like,
are.
This one's like reading a newspaper. It's like so quirky and cute. He's
It
wearing
makes it seem like you're actually like on the street hunting aliens.
Yeah, and he's
I
got a
do
little
think that's fun.
fedora, and the line is good. And I know you guys are like, I hate pre-show, but like, it's
I
actually
love the show.
when you go in. Sorry, I guess I'm only speaking on Amanda here. Who
I don't hate this ride either, so I'm not really sure whose behalf you're speaking on.
I thought
I mean,
someone
I
hated
don't think this
ride.
is S tier, but
I
don't
do.
hate it.
I do think it's S tier because I quite enjoy the pre-show where it's like you know you think you're going into this like 3-hour tour of the universe and you, and then it's like boom, no, you're in the Men in Black training center, and then the line is very cute. Like you go through that office building and then you see the little guys with
Yeah.
the coffee.
The queue
And
is
then
very
the ride
good.
itself is interactive because it's a shooter ride and it's animatronic, and I really quite enjoy it. I think it's an S tier.
And it's pretty quick and it's kind of wild. You spin around quite a bit. But
You do. And you also have like a secondary objective, so it can be like a different ride every time because you can shoot your the other car's little thing and you can make them spin.
I think I would put it in A tier though.
I would put it in A tier. I don't think it's
Well,
as
then
good as
like
ET.
there's not gonna be very much that we put in S tier then.
Well, I see one other ride on here that I would also put in S
I
tier.
would probably put 3 of the remaining ones in S tier.
3. You would put 3 of the remaining ones, not including Men in Black in S tier.
Yeah,
I would put 3. I would put 3 including Men in Black in S tier, but I wouldn't put the other 2. Okay. Let it be known, I want Men in Black in S tier.
I mean, okay, listen. I think we can put it in S tier, you know, just because it is interactive. And I also think we need to pad the S tier a little bit to compensate for the amount of things we've put in the bottom half of this list. Okay. I mean,
Fine, put it in A tier. Whatever. Just let it be known that I wanted it in S tier.
okay. Hogwarts Express.
The line is always so long.
It is so long. Theming, impeccable.
The theming is great.
I would put this in S tier because I think the theming is done really well. I think it's really cool that they use this to connect the two parks, even though it would be much quicker to just exit the park and walk to the other one. That's really all I've got, but I would put it in S tier, and I think the ride itself is fun. However, is this the side that the train backs into, or is it the other one?
This is the one it backs into.
I think I could deduct for that if we put Hogwarts Express on the islands one as well. I would give it S tier on the islands, but give it A tier on this one just because it backs into this one.
You could have two fronts, you know?
Yeah,
It could have a front on both sides.
right.
Or you could have, well, yeah, I think it should have a front on both sides, period.
But then even when it left, it would still look like it's backing out.
I mean, I don't know how to help mitigate that.
You can't, and that's why.
Real trains back in or
What?
out.
Yeah, real trains do back in.
So then I guess we can't deduct points for that.
Yeah, but the
Because, like,
Hogwarts Express doesn't. It does. The real
Hogwarts, also magic, so
Yeah.
I think that it shouldn't be an S tier simply because the wait is far too long.
Well, usually the wait on the Universal side isn't as long as the Islands of Adventure side.
Doesn't
Or am I
matter.
wrong?
I don't know.
And
It's
also,
always too long.
I'll put
I
it
think-
in A if that's what y'all want to put it in.
I could put it in either A or S. I think that this side is cooler than the other side because you do get to go through the platform 9 3/4,
That is true.
and that's pretty neat.
Like the theming for this whole situation, like walking through like the tunnel in London and like I don't know, just all of that's really cool to me. And I also think that the ride itself is very nice and very well decorated and well themed. But again, I say S, but if y'all would prefer to put it in A, I would put it in A.
I'll put it in there.
Okay.
I mean, I'm cool with either.
The Mummy. The Revenge of the Mummy. The Mummy's Revenge. What is it called?
Revenge of the Mummy. No, the Mummy.
Returns?
I don't know. This is the Mummy ride. I would put this in S tier. I think this is a very fun ride. It's very short and it's over very quickly, but I think while you're in there, it's top notch.
I
Yeah.
agree. I think it's similar to Gringotts in that it's part roller coaster and part trying to tell you a story, but the roller coaster aspect of this one is better and more
Mhm.
fun, and overall is just better. I like this one, S tier.
Yeah, I would also put this in S tier because it combines like those physical sets with the roller coaster. So it has like animatronics, it has some special effects, and there's no screens, so that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Except at the very end when Brendan Fraser said, "Would have been better if I got my cup of coffee." It's so funny.
And he is a handsome man.
Not as handsome as Bill Weasley.
Not as handsome as Bill Weasley.
Not as handsome as Jason Bourne.
Yeah, that's true.
Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, so S tier. Glad we're in agreement on that one. Rip Ride Rocket.
We're gonna get some backlash from Skylar here.
Yeah.
I love this ride. S tier.
S tier, just because, I mean, when you think about the scale of this ride next to literally everything else in Universal Studios,
Mhm.
like, this has to be S tier. Like, it would be a disservice to Universal to put this not in S tier.
I agree. It's so high. It's what you see. It's like the castle for for Universal.
That means it's horrible. Can't compare it to the castle.
It's the Epcot ball.
I don't know. I'm not really a huge fan of it, but I think that's because I don't like the part where you're going up, like directly up and you're like laying on your back. I don't like that feeling. It makes me nervous. And then I also just don't think that I'm a huge roller coaster person anymore.
Boo.
So, I mean, I like the Mummy. I like that roller coaster, but I don't think I like the big roller coasters like this. So, for me, I could understand why you guys would think it's fun, but it wouldn't go high on my list. But I'll give it to you guys if you want to put it in S tier.
I will put it in S tier. And also, it's an interactive ride as well, because you get to choose from this it's a decently expansive list of songs that they give you to choose from. And that just adds to your experience, because then you like get to jam out to the song of your choosing. And you can also access the secret list that we talked about in episode 2.
Yes, I think it was episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2 of the Fast, Fast, and Furious podcast. And then the list becomes even longer. The possibilities are honestly endless. And it's so loud, the music. So it like really makes it fun.
Yeah.
And they videotape you on the ride. So instead of just taking a picture, they take a whole video, which doesn't always work. Like, it's not always working, but when it is, it's very cool because you can watch you jamming out to the music and it's playing the music, and
yeah,
it's fun.
It is fun.
So earlier when we had like 5 things left and you said 3 of them could go in S tier, I couldn't fathom that you were going to say one of them was Hogwarts Express. So I thought one of them was the Woody Woodpecker Kid Coaster. And I was just like, I don't understand.
I love the Woody
I do.
Nut Fun, Nut House, Nut
Coaster. the Woody Woodpecker Nut Coaster.
I love it.
I do like it. Like,
it's a
it
hoot.
doesn't. It's it doesn't belong in trash by any means. It doesn't belong in F by any means. I think it's fun. It's very short. It's very jerky. It's small. It's fun. I like it.
I think I would put it in C.
I would probably put it in C.
I would put it in C too.
I think that it's more fun of a kids roller coaster than Barnstormer.
Mm-hmm.
But that also might be because this ride is always a walk-on and Barnstormer also always has like a 50-minute wait.
Was it with y'all when we got to the end of it and they just let us go again?
Yeah, that was with us. We just kept going. And we could have gone longer, but we were like, no, let's not.
Yeah, and if you're on there and they let you just go over and over, I mean, that's super fun.
They're so chill at the Nut Coaster. Like, they don't care at all.
Because they don't want to be there. They're like, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, so that wraps up the list.
Mm-hmm.
It looks a little sad.
That's because I think that Universal's problem is that a lot of the themes that they choose to go with are stupid in the first place, and then they are a lot of times very lazy in their execution. But again, we love this park. So
yeah, I think you'll see a vast difference in the way that our tier looks when we do Islands of Adventure,
Mhm.
because there's a lot to love there.
I agree.
But yeah, are you guys ready to wrap this up?
Yep.
Yes. Let's close this out, I guess, as we do. Oh, so check us out on, like and subscribe down below.
Leave us a comment.
Leave us a comment
Tell us
telling
what
us
you
would have done different. Do you agree with our rankings? Did we get something very wrong?
Leave
Do
us
you
some hate
love Jimmy
comments.
Kimmel's ride or what? You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, and more. And also probably on YouTube. I don't know.
And if anyone knows Celestina Warbeck personally, please let her know that we love her so much and we think she's amazing. And
and tell her that she should magically change the Banshees costumes because they're ugly.
all right.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks so much for watching.
as Vin Diesel once told us,
The bigger
the
the
family, the stronger the
family.
family.
Signing off.
Bye.
Bye.
I loved the bye that Sarah just gave. The bye.
Like, bye, I guess.
I feel like I had no energy that entire time.